Welcome, everyone, to Dallas Hoops Fancast, a podcast for Mavs fans. I'm your host, Sydney, and I'm here with my co-host, Martin.
Hey, guys.
And today, the Mavericks 2019-2020 schedule was released, so we thought that we'd be original and talk about it. Because, I mean, no one else is going to, right?
Nope.
So,
we're going to be the first ones.
Actually, no. So everybody is, and that's okay because it's the only thing to talk about right now. And it's like some actual real NBA news, not just kind of our opinions or speculation. So we're going to go through our top 5 games that we're looking forward to, each one of us. Before we get into that, as usual, I want to say thank you for listening. Follow the show on Twitter at Dallas Hoops Cast. You can follow me on Twitter at _Sydney Myers. And let us know what you think about the show or which games you're looking forward to this coming season. See, I kept that one short. I'm doing better. Okay, so let's get started. The 2019-2020 season, the schedule is up everywhere, so you can look at it. We're going to go over our top 5 games that we're looking forward to. Martin, would you like to start with number 1?
Yes, well, for me, I know we have our own list here. So,
Yeah. So you do one, and then I'll do one.
Okay.
What?
You just picture
Well, I got excited.
Yes,
Okay,
all right.
I had an idea.
All right.
Because they do this on...
That's nice. Okay, I'm going to move on.
Okay.
Okay, so November 1st, Lakers at Dallas. And really the only reason I have this is because it's the Lakers.
Yeah.
It's LeBron. It's Anthony Davis. LeBron and Anthony Davis against the Mavs.
Who else do they have?
They got Kyle Kuzma.
Danny Green, I forgot.
Danny Green.
You know, they will have a solid starting lineup.
Yeah, I mean,
I would say one of the best.
Well, obviously, because they have LeBron and Anthony Davis, they could have a bunch of G League guys on there.
Which they pretty much do. Yeah.
So I have that one just because it's early in the season. It's at home. It's against the Lakers. I want to see how Luka and KP kind of handle that big-time moment. Now, I know Luka did a great job last year. When it was a big-time game, he would come to play. I don't know much about Porzingis just because he's always playing with the Knicks, so we'll see how he responds. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's you do one and then I do one.
Okay.
Okay, so the first game that I'm looking forward to is like really cliche. It's the opening night game versus the Wizards because it's the first game. Like, I feel like if I should be looking forward to a game, it would be the first one of the season. Like,
you wasted one of your 5.
Like, I know it's obvious, but you know.
I mean, I hear what you're saying. It's opening night.
Yeah.
But
okay, so it's opening night. It's their season opener, which they get to do at home, which is cool. And it's versus the Wizards, which they might actually win. So it might be overall a really cool night.
Yeah. I mean, I see what you're saying. I just didn't really consider that one because the Wizards only play twice a year. Have nothing to do with our playoff chances.
It's less about the Wizards and more about just the fact that it's opening night.
Gotcha.
And I want to see Porzingis and Luka. You know, that's one thing about this season is that, like, on Twitter, everybody is arguing over how many games the Mavs are going to win. And it's so sad, not for them, but really for everybody, because, like, this is how desperate we are for any sort of Mavericks stuff. It's like the argument is over whether they're going to win 41 games or 42 games or 45 games. And it's like, it's just, there's so much unknown. Couple of things like Luka, you know, what kind of leap is he going to make from his first year to his second year? And we talk about, even if he's the same player, like, teams are going to have a whole season to scout for him. So even if he stayed the same, would he still drop 21 points? You know, so that's kind of a question mark. Porzingis' health, I think that's a question mark for me. I know you disagree.
No, I mean, the thing is, obviously, and this is going to sound obvious, but the entire season is a
more
question mark.
Obvious than looking forward to opening night.
Yes. Every team has question marks.
Yeah.
There's no guarantee. I have my doubts, and I might be the only person on the planet that's about to say what I'm going to say. Okay. I'm not so sure Kawhi and Paul George are going to play that well together.
You know, okay, here's a question I have.
I won't finish my point because I'll let you talk.
What position are they going to play?
Yes. Okay, so they are like clones of each other. The problem is, because of their size, they can't really play a 2 guard. Like,
Right.
you can't put Kawhi at the 2. You
Right.
can't put Paul George at the 2.
It's got to be 3 and 4.
3 and 4. But then, who plays the 4?
Because I don't think either one of them really want to.
No. And so then they'll say positionless basketball. They're going to say all that crap. The problem is they do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
They're like a clone of each other. And, I mean, they're exactly the same players. So
Yeah.
I don't understand how that's really going to fit, especially because they really don't have a lot. I know Patrick Beverley's on the team, but he's really a defensive guy. He's not a floor general. He's not going to come line up the offense and tell you go here and you go there. So
Kawhi's going to be like, no,
give me the ball.
You're going to give me the ball.
You guard that guy. Stay over there.
On offense.
Yes. So, yeah, I have my reservations with the Kawhi-Paul George matchup, and I'm probably one of the only ones to say that. But so that's a question mark that I have. I also want to see LeBron as a 35, 36-year-old player. There's just no physical way he's going to be old LeBron. It's impossible.
He is old LeBron.
Well, I mean, he's not going to be the original,
classic LeBron.
Yeah, exactly. And it's impossible for him because you just get older, and every single player, it doesn't matter how great you are, you eventually start to break down. You're not as good. You're not as quick. Your shot doesn't go down as frequently as it used to. Can Anthony Davis lead a team? He's yet to do it. I think he's made the playoffs like one time. I mean, he's may have led more, but he's never really done anything. So that's a question mark I have as well. So, yeah, with Luka and KP, obviously I'm a Mavs fan, so I feel like everything's going to be awesome and work out the way it's supposed to, but we'll see.
Yeah, so anyway, we kind of got off topic, but basically that's why I'm looking forward to opening night, because that's when this all starts. And all of these question marks, I mean, they want to all be answered in that first game, but we'll start to see, we'll see Luka and Porzingis on the court at the same time for the first time.
The first play should be a pick and roll with Luka and KP.
Yeah.
That should just be the first play.
Yeah.
Of course, Carlisle is such a stick in the mud that he may not do that till like the third quarter.
No, I don't know, because I think, remember Roddy B's second season, the very first play of that season, it was an alley-oop to Roddy B. Because they all thought he was going to be a superstar.
Yeah.
Which he could.
Okay.
I'm not even going to talk about it. Okay,
right.
So that's my first one. Opening night versus Wizards.
Okay, second game for me to look forward to is just 10 days later, and it's Mavs at Boston.
Oh, yeah.
And I have that one on my list because I want to see Kemba. The fact that he chose the Celtics over the Mavs. I hope the Celtics struggle coming out of the season, and I hope Luka kills him and just shows him, you pick Jason Tatum over me. That's essentially, now obviously the East Coast, an easier road because he doesn't want to actually win. But
Well, try.
No.
They're going to win, but
They're not going to win a championship.
no.
So I want to see that game, and I want to see Luka drop 35 on him.
We are so salty every time the Celtics come up.
Well, it's because...
I feel like all we do is trash them.
Look, it's because they get... It's like anything they do good, they're the best team in the league. And
if they don't do well, they have an excuse. And that's one thing I'll say about this season for the Celtics is that they have done a lot of talking about how Kyrie ruined their season. And it's like this season coming up, without Kyrie being there, I mean, they're putting a lot of pressure on themselves to be really good.
Well, and we talked about that. Like, you lose Al Horford and Kyrie Irving, and you're telling me they're going to be...
Terry Rozier,
And you're telling me they're going to be better next year? Like, think about this.
And they
for
added
a
a guy
second.
who's never made the playoffs.
I mean, he's made the playoffs. Kemba has, but he's never won anything. And now he's still going to be the number one guy. So, and then is Jason Tatum going to be your number one? At some point, if he's this good, he's got to be the number one. And so Kemba would naturally go into the number two. So, yeah, there's a lot of question marks with them.
Yeah, and that's my thing is that I think there's so many question marks and there's so much pressure on them because of how much
media,
they've said about Kyrie and all that.
They're expected to come out and start the season 10-0.
And they put that on themselves. So, I originally had December 18th against the Celtics, but like same reason, less about Kemba and more about Tatum. I feel like now, I don't know if anyone else sees it this way, but I feel like that's a rivalry now just because people are so high on Jason Tatum and they take him over Luka a lot of times.
There's still a lot of people that have Tatum as a
Yeah.
better player than, well, Tatum's his ceiling. Well, it's like,
See, okay, and I tweeted about this. I don't understand how you can say in one sentence that Luka is a below average defender and last season kind of tapered off because of conditioning or whatever, or his 3-point shot fell off. How can you say that? And then the next sentence they say, but he's not going to be as good as these other guys because he's reached his ceiling. He's reached all his potential. He can't grow anymore. And it's like, well, you just listed things he can get, he can actually get better at: defense and conditioning.
I've never seen a 19, 20-year-old reach their ceiling at 19 and 20 years old. So if he works hard at it and he works every offseason, he's only going to get better.
Yeah.
So I don't understand that either. Okay, what's your game number 2?
My game number 2, picked this one it's a little random. Mm-hmm. Their second game of the season at the Pelicans.
So you have game 1 and 2 of the season so far. Okay.
Because it's the first game against the Pelicans. And
is that a rivalry? Or?
no, but because Zion Williamson, and we talked about this last game, how we want Luka to just come out and
kill him
and show him up.
Because
not kill him.
Well, not
we can't say that.
Okay. Yes, we want Luka to destroy him by killing him.
Figurative way.
So because everybody's already anointed Zion as the future of the league, and it just drives me nuts.
I mean, okay, to be fair, we did the same thing with Luka before we'd ever seen him play an NBA game. So is it so bad?
I don't think we did that. Like we had a good feeling.
We had the hopes
that he was gonna be good.
Yeah, I was more inside hoping
that is what we hope he is. Yes.
Yeah, and I was a little worried that he wouldn't be, but
and so we weren't thinking before he played, he's the future of the league.
He's the next LeBron.
I mean, now we feel that way because of what we've seen, but Zion hasn't played a single game. And all of a sudden, he's the future of the league. He gets this huge Nike deal.
They have 20 nationally televised games.
I don't understand that.
But you know what? Okay, the season is about to start, and all of this will finally be put to rest. I want to see what he can do, and I might be totally wrong, and that would be fine.
And I think the networks or the NBA, I don't know who decides who gets nationally televised games, but I think they made a mistake. Because,
with the Pelicans?
Yes, because they, for some stupid reason, all these analysts, these experts, they have the Pelicans as a potential playoff team. They're going to be good. And it's like, what are you guys thinking? Zion would have to come in and be Anthony Davis, essentially, his first year. I don't get, I know they got JJ Redick. And I know they got Brandon Ingram and Alonzo Ball, but those guys suck. They sucked when they were the Lakers. They didn't make the playoffs.
I know that's kind of my point. Is you basically transplanted the Lakers to the Pelicans, but you took out Kyle Kuzma and LeBron and added Zion. Who is a question mark at this point.
But let's say Zion in his rookie year is as good as Kyle Kuzma last year.
Yeah.
So you have the Lakers with Kyle Kuzma. Exactly.
Yeah.
And I know JJ Redick. Everybody's talking about JJ Redick, but he's not going to carry them to the playoffs.
Yeah. And Drew Holiday. Now the Pelicans, the front office has talked a lot about Drew Holiday. How they've told him this is your team. You are our superstar.
Until they trade him in February.
And David Griffin was talking about how he thinks Drew Holiday can be that guy, the number one guy that shows up defenses. And
okay. My only problem with that, he's been in the league now for 10 years, and he's never been that guy.
True.
So, he can put up 20 points, and he's a really good player.
I would love to have Drew Holiday.
He can't be your number one.
Yeah.
So, he can't even be your number two, really. So
I don't know what he is.
Well, exactly. He's in that mix of guys that are too good to come off the bench, not good enough to carry your team. And so it's what do you do with him? Some teams like the Timberwolves with Kevin Love, they decided to move on quickly.
Yeah.
They realized the guy's great, but he's not good enough to carry us. So they went ahead and made that decision early and trade him. And they were right. He was always a number 2 or a number 3 guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did I say? Oh yeah, that was my second game. So what's
So
your
your
third
game 1
game?
and 2 of the season.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to those.
All right. So January 21st, Clippers at Mavs. Now they play the Clippers earlier in the season. The reason I have the January game is because we have a good section of the games done. So we'll be able to see what their records are. And hopefully at that time.
They'll have kind of meshed a little bit.
No, hopefully by January 21st, both of those teams will be winning records and it'll be a really good game. So that's my pick, third pick. And if you have game number 3 as your third game to watch,
no,
okay, we're going to be done. All
right. My third game to watch is November 8th versus the Knicks. The Knicks will be coming here. Yeah. Because that'll be the first game where Dennis Smith Jr. comes home.
The great Dennis Smith.
And we already talked about this last podcast. But, basically what I said then, same thing. I do think that he'll come out and have a really big game. That doesn't bother me because I think in the long run, first of all, they made the right trade. Porzingis, I would rather have him than Smith. But even taking that part out of it, I don't think that what Smith Jr. might do in that game is going to be representative of what he'll do over the whole season. Basically, I think he'll have a big game, but then like I said, the next night he'll drop 12. He's just that kind of player. But, still, I kind of want to see it. It would be cool if Luka kind of showed him up a little bit. Obviously, I don't have positive feelings about Dennis Smith Jr. A lot of people do, but I'm looking forward to that.
I think there's a bigger chance that Luka plays well because Luka has done that.
True.
And I know we're Luka fanboys. I get that, but at least Luka you're a fangirl. But Luka's shown it already in his first year. Every time he played the Warriors, he had a huge game. He came out ready to play. Dennis Smith isn't yet to do that.
Well, he has big games.
Yes,
but they're sort of random. He had a really big game
when he's on fire.
Yeah. But
Charlotte.
Yeah, that was a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Is he really showed up for that game? Same thing. The Knicks, the game before he was traded, the night before he was traded,
he had a triple.
He showed up for that game. So he can do that in certain games, and it's legit. He does it for that game, and it's not just because he got on fire. He's really focused or something, but he just either doesn't or can't do it for the whole season.
See, I think his problem is he gets focused when he is playing well. I don't think he has the ability to turn it on and off.
I see what you mean,
I think if his shot's going in or he's starting to make some plays, then he's going to be ultimately focused. And I don't think he has any control over that.
Are you saying that he lacks confidence? It sounds
I think it's fake confidence. He acts tough, but I think it's fake. So that's, I think he really can't show up in big time moments. There's some players who can average 20 points a game, but then when they play the Golden State Warriors or they played Kobe Bryant and the Lakers or whoever, these big time superstars, they struggled.
That was always a problem we had with Chandler Parsons, Harrison Barnes.
Harrison Barnes was a perfect example of that. He averaged 20 points a game the whole season.
And Parsons really, sorry, I'll let you finish the sentence.
Well, and then Monte, as much as I love Monte, he tended to do that. Now, against the Spurs, he was able to show up. But the Spurs don't carry that same, whatever. It's not the Lakers. So.
Yeah. But I remember Parsons and Barnes had that same problem. And it was frustrating because it was
you need them in those games.
Yeah, well, and it's you're so proud of, that guy is on our team. And then it's you want to go out and show him, and then it's God, you really didn't play well.
I wonder if people that are listening to this are really annoyed. They're just get to the next game.
Okay, I'm sorry. Somebody did say that we take forever to get to a point, which I think that's mostly me, not so much you. Anyway.
So, game 4.
Did you do your next
game
one?
3. So I'm doing game 4.
Wait, I said November 8th versus the Knicks.
That's your game 3. So I'm about to do game 4.
Okay, your game 4.
Game 4, Hawks at Mavs, February 1st.
Yeah.
Only because it's Trae Young and, all that stuff. Hopefully that dies away because,
I want to say Luka winning Rookie of the Year made it not die, but it should fade it a little bit. because it's like, that's final. I mean, he won Rookie of the Year.
There's no
Trae Young
motivation
didn't.
for Luka at that point. Now, Trae Young may want to come out
True.
and drop 45,
But I'm just saying, like, the Luka versus Trae thing,
Yeah.
I feel like Luka winning Rookie of the Year that's really it. He kind of proved it. So, yeah, I had that one marked too.
Okay.
Okay, the next one that I'm looking forward to is also against the Knicks, but it's in New York, November 14th, because that'll be the first time Porzingis goes home. So,
Well, just so you understand, the games go to April.
I'm not.
And you're on November 14th,
I have games
so you're the
in April.
first 15 games of the
These
season.
are big games, Martin. I'm looking
Okay.
forward to this. And it's funny, this thing about Porzingis going back home, sort of, is that New York fans, they really are dogging on Porzingis. Like, talking about how he sucks and just trashing him so bad. And I was
Yeah.
like, I thought he was good. Like, what do you have against
The
him?
Knicks PR did a great job.
I guess.
I think that's what it was. They did a great job. So, okay, so I'm just going to do the last two I have because I'm only supposed to have 5, but I have 6, and it's really the last 2 games of the season.
Breaking
April
the rules.
13th, Mavs at Denver, and April 15th, Thunder at Mavs. I have those on there because it might be playoff positioning games.
Yeah, I had the 15th originally marked too for the same reason. Like, if the Mavs are vying for a playoff spot, I think it'll be the last spot, and so those 2 games will be huge. Now the problem is it's Denver, which they'd probably lose that game, and it's the Thunder, which I don't know. They should win, I think, but it'd be tough.
We'll see.
So yeah, I had that one marked too. The next one I had marked was January 25th at Utah, because the Jazz made some pretty good moves this offseason. They got Bogdanovich, who we wanted.
Mm-hmm.
They got Mike Conley. They made some pretty good moves, and I want to see what they're like. I want to see how they play.
Yeah, I mean, they're, I don't know. I'm not sold on them. I mean, I guess it really all depends on Donovan Mitchell, if he can still be the leader and carry that team, because they, in order to win, you still need to have
True, that guy.
Now, he's been that guy the last 2 years, but really last year, it was kind of a down year for him compared
He
to
had
his
his
first
sophomore slump.
Yeah, so he's going to have to make a jump forward in order for them to be true competitors.
Yeah, because I mean, the moves they made were really good, but they didn't get a number 1 guy. Like they're clearly building around Donovan Mitchell. They think that he can be that guy, and he seems like a nice guy. So I don't have
They're
anything
going to build
against
around him,
Like,
and then in his 6th year, he's going to leave.
he's gonna leave. Yeah, I know. Gosh, the Jazz. Talk about a team, like, they did everything right.
Yeah, but
and they still lost.
Gordon
Hayward.
Yeah, but they also kept Karl Malone and John Stockton for like 20 years. So, they did a really good job with
They're
that.
a good organization.
Yeah.
I respect them. Respect. Okay, so those are our top 5 games each that we're looking forward to. Let us know which ones you're looking forward to. Like I said, you can tweet us at Dallas Hoopscast or me at _Sydney Myers. We're also going to post this video on YouTube. We post every episode on YouTube, so just search Dallas Hoops Fancast, and you can leave your comment there with the games that you're looking forward to. But we also wanted to talk. We actually wanted to talk about this last week, but we didn't get to it. The projected starting lineup, because there's a lot of it that's set. I think 4 positions are set. So we know Luka, Porzingis, Dwight Powell, and DeLon Wright. I think we're pretty sure he's starting. So it's really that 5th spot, and I don't know even what position that is. I think Luka or KP and Powell are the 4 and 5
guard wing.
Yeah, something like that. So I've heard that Justin Jackson is probably going to start there. I'm not like super hyped about that. I think some other options are Seth Curry and Tim Hardaway Jr. That's going in a really different direction, because I think Jackson is more for like defensive versatility and stuff. Hardaway and Curry, that would be all offense, and they would probably have a terrible defense, but offensively they'd be amazing.
Both of those guys are good defense. I mean, they're not bad defenders.
Yeah,
so they're adequate defenders.
You're not going to walk over them.
Yeah, so and I think they can both hold their own on the defensive end. So I don't think there's really any drop off. So what is your prediction?
I mean, my prediction is Justin Jackson. I'm not saying that's what I want. I'm just saying I think that's what's going to happen.
Okay.
What's yours?
My prediction is going to be Seth Curry. And I think
Now, are you saying to start the season or that he's going to win that
no,
spot?
I think to start the season. You can't have that good of a 3-point shooter and not be a starter. Now I know it was different with the Blazers because they had CJ McCollum and Damian Lillard, but a lot of times they played all three of them at the same time because of his shooting ability, and he's actually a better defender. So, and the Mavs still struggle with 3-point shooting if you look at their lineup. Luka's
Yeah.
got to get his percentages up, which I think he will. And then Porzingis is going to have to get back into the swing of things.
That his 3-point shot is one thing that might suffer if he doesn't like have his legs under
The
him.
good thing is you still have to respect his shot. Like you can't
True,
leave,
yeah.
even if he's like go 0 for 10,
You still
just
have to
can't leave
close
Porzingis
out.
open.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be Seth Curry because I don't think he's that much of a drop off defensively than Justin Jackson, and I think his 3-point shooting is just too valuable in today's league. And to play and it's not just his 3-point shooting, but he knows how to get to the right spot.
He's a smart player.
I think he's going to be a perfect fit next to Luka because of where he knows where to go. He's great coming off screens, and he can make a play if need be. So I think DeLon Wright and Curry will share the responsibilities of guarding the two guards. Depending on which one's better, DeLon Wright will guard the better one, and Curry will guard the other one, and then Doncic will guard the third wing. Whoever that is.
Small forward.
Yeah. So,
And then Tim Hardaway Jr., I was talking about this with somebody on Twitter. I think he can be a really good sixth man, and I would like to see them try him out at that role.
and he would have to embrace it.
Yeah. Well, any good sixth man does. That's part of what makes them so good.
So I think he could do well with JJ coming off the bench.
Yeah.
And I think JJ will be able to use his veteran leadership to help Hardaway get to the spots he needs to be. He'll know when to include Hardaway. And I think a Hardaway and JJ coming off the bench would be great. Now, a lot of people are going to be like, well, what about Jalen? So the Mavs really kind of have a log jam at guard.
As usual.
Now, it could be, with the miniature guards. Now, JJ may not be back for the start of the season, so it might be Jalen and Tim Hardaway.
True. I think that either Jalen or JJ really, and then Tim Hardaway Jr., and then if Curry starts with Justin Jackson, so that would mean Justin Jackson comes off the bench. I think that fits really well with Hardaway and that small guard because he can take on some of the load defensively if he can get his 3-point shot to be solid. Like, I think he can play well in that role against other bench players. I think that fits for him.
Yeah, I mean, where do we have Dorian Finney-Smith? I mean...
Outside.
Yeah, I mean... in the practice court, waiting. I'm right there with you on Dorian Finney-Smith. I think he's got his opportunity, and he lost his starting job at the end of the
Justin
year.
Jackson. Yeah. I know that he worked really hard. They talked about how he worked on his shot, and I know that he's worked with Carlisle a lot, and I respect that, but it just didn't translate to the court. He just couldn't contribute, and unless he takes a big leap, if he's better than this year, then great. But if he's not, I don't really see a place for him.
Yeah, and then we have KP and Dwight Powell as the bigs, and then we got Maxey coming off the bench. Is it just going to be a 3-man big rotation through the season? Who's their...
Plus Boban?
Yeah, I really think the reason they got Boban...
Situationally?
Well, is for when KP is sitting out.
Yeah.
I think Maxey will go into the starting lineup when KP's out, and then Boban will come off the bench.
Yeah. One thing with Maxey is that last year, it's like since he's been here, he's been pretty solid and really good, but he's also had stretches where he sort of just falls off. And so I want to see him this year be that solid guy all the time.
Yeah, the thing is, Maxey and Powell really have good chemistry.
They do.
Some of their best lineups last year were Maxey and Powell with JJ. And I see a lot of that again next year.
But was that JJ or was that Maxey?
It was just
and
a
Powell?
combination.
Yeah.
I mean, JJ obviously ran the offense, and Powell and Maxey were just getting all used. But it was more defensively too because they're really quick
Kleber's
bigs.
defense.
Yeah, they're really quick for being bigs. So, and I think the Mavs starting lineup is really going to struggle with rebounding. The good thing is DeLon Wright and Doncic are both good rebounders, but that's not going to really matter when you're going against Joel Embiid, because if it's a competition between Embiid and Doncic, Embiid's going to win that.
Right.
So Mavs are going to have to do a great job blocking out. Powell has got to get stronger. Sometimes he gets destroyed in the post.
Okay, over under on wins. Let's put it at 42. I don't know what the books say, but
I think 41.5.
Okay, so let's start there. Over or under?
Oh, I think over. Yeah. I just have. Well, first of all, I'm a Mavs fan.
I mean, obviously, they're going to be awesome.
Yeah.
I think they're going to win 83 games, really, personally.
83. Yeah. I want to say they're going to hit 48 to 50. And I know that sounds really optimistic, but one of the things that we're not accounting for is Carlisle. And Luka's, if he makes the jump like LeBron and KD and all those other superstars from their first to their second year, they're going to be really, really good. And, there's a lot of ifs with that. But I think they're going to be closer to 48-50. I think they're going to be one of the better teams in the West, because I think a lot of people are going to sleep on them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so if everything goes perfectly, then I think 48 to 50 is possible. But, what are the odds of that happening? Like, in real world, what's actually going to happen? I would say if they get to 500, I think I wouldn't be surprised if they got like 40, 41. I'd be disappointed.
You think that low? They have a chance?
I mean, okay, so because here's my thing. I have to take my fandom down a notch in order to be realistic. And when I do that, like, there's some question marks, but bigger than the question marks, like with Porzingis and stuff, it's just the players themselves. Like, say Justin Jackson is starting, and then who's coming off the bench? Like, is there anyone that you're super excited about now? Like, yeah, we think Hardaway can be good, and that
you still got JJ.
Yeah, and those guys are good, but I mean, they scored 5 to 10 points a game, maybe. It's just, I'm trying to be realistic.
Yeah, but the thing is, they won 34 games last year, and they tried to lose the last 10.
True.
So I think adding KP gives you those 6 extra wins to put you at 40, and I think if you don't tank, I think so.
Like, okay.
I hear what you're saying.
In my heart, I want to say 46.
Okay. Do they make the playoffs? And if so, who's the team that's out?
I mean, so the locks are the Lakers, Clippers, Rockets.
Don't say locks.
Warriors, Jazz, Nuggets. I'd say those teams are locked. Blazers. I mean, that's 7.
I don't think the Blazers are a lock. They got worse
to the conference final. I mean, they lost Cantor,
they should not.
But they're getting Nurkic back.
Not right away.
Yeah.
So I don't think I think the Blazers might be on the outside looking in. I mean, I think they'll still have a winning record.
Interesting.
I think the Spurs are going to be on the outside looking in.
Yeah.
And I'm not sold on the Rockets. I think they're going to go back to the same thing they did last year, which is just going to be hard and dribble.
Yeah.
Till 3 seconds left, step back, 3-point.
I just think when you have that much talent, you're just, like, by default, you're going to win enough games to make the playoffs.
But they're dumb. Like Harden and Westbrook.
They're not dumb.
They make the worst decisions at the end of games.
Their decision-making, particularly Westbrook, is questionable and
Harden
could lead to losses.
And, I mean, they're the 2 highest turnover players in the league. Yeah. I mean, literally, they both average like
same
5.
Player.
Yeah, I mean, they're different players.
Well, yeah, you're right.
But as far as turning the ball over, they're the same. I mean, they're going to average 10 turnovers a game, just them 2.
Yeah.
So they're going to probably be the highest turnover team in the league.
So I don't know if the Mavs will make the playoffs. I mean, if they do, it would be the 8th seed, and I think I would maybe be surprised.
Well, I'm going to speak for all the Mavs fans out there and say we're 6th seed.
6th? Okay.
Yes.
So I do want to say something about Luka next year and the impact that he can have as a player, because I think it's easy to talk about the question marks or like, well, he's still just a second-year player. You can't expect him to lead a team to the playoffs and all of that. But there's another part that comes with the fact that he won Rookie of the Year. And I posted this on Instagram a couple months ago. Players that won Rookie of the Year, what did they go on to do? So 83% of them became an all-star. 52% of them became Hall of Famers. That's including only the Rookie of the Years that have retired up to this point. So 83% an all-star, 52% a Hall of Fame. He has over a 1 in 2 chance to become a Hall of Fame player.
Yeah.
So if you want to talk about the kind of player that could lead a mediocre team to the playoffs, it's not far-fetched or crazy to say that Luka is that kind of player.
Well, and there's other things you got to consider there. There's been rookies of the year who average 10 points to it. Like Brogdon. There's been plenty of Malcolm Brogdons out there.
Michael Carter-Williams.
Yeah, and it's just because there just happened to be in a weak rookie class. I mean, I think not Mike Miller.
Mike Miller won Rookie of the Year.
There's another guy, though.
There's some rando.
Yeah, some rando.
I mean, it happens. Like,
yes. And so, obviously those guys are the reasons why they're not the Hall of Fame. Yeah. But the other guys that average 18, 19, 20 a game, they're probably all Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
Secondly, he's the only other player in NBA history to put up the numbers, the other one being Oscar Robertson.
Well, and just
there's a real high chance he's going to be.
Yeah, 83% became an All-Star, 25% won MVP. There's a 1 in 4 chance that he's going to win,
player,
and that's just winning MVP. How many of them were perennial MVP candidates? So, again, like to say, well, they only have a mediocre team, they don't have a lot of depth, you can't expect Luka to do it. It's like, well, it wouldn't be crazy if he did, because guys that did what he did, they became the kind of player that it would take to take a team like this to the playoffs. Now, I'm not saying a ring next year. I'm just saying the playoffs.
Teams, yeah.
Or,
playoffs.
45 wins.
Well, and they've done that. Like the true superstars.
Yeah.
Like Dirk's Mavs. How many years did they win 50 games, but their team was garbage? And so, they'd go out in the first, second round. Of course, everybody's like, Dirk can't get it done. But when LeBron wins 50 games,
well, he ain't got nobody.
He ain't got no help. It's like, whatever. So, yeah, like those kind of players, they carry their team to 50 wins a season. But, sometimes they just aren't really that good.
Yeah.
I think Luka's going to be one of those guys. And really, there's a good chance that Porzingis could still be a franchise player. I mean, we've kind of, we kind of forget. Yeah. And what the guy was doing, Kevin Durant gave him the nickname Unicorn. That means Kevin Durant saw this guy and was like, holy crap. He's never seen anything like that. So we forget Porzingis was on his path to being an MVP candidate. Yeah. So
now I know that it's only Luka's second year. So I mean I have to take that into consideration. Maybe he can do that eventually. Maybe next year isn't the year, but it's possible.
Yeah. I mean, the West is going to be tough.
Yeah, but not as I mean, imagine if Kawhi had gone to the Lakers. You know?
I mean,
imagine if KD stayed with the Warriors.
It's not top heavy. It's just
it's deep.
Really, there's 9 teams that are basically the same. They each have 2 guys, and it's really which 2 guys are going to be better than everybody else's 2 guys.
Yeah.
And I'm picking Mavs.
So you said, what did you say, 48 to 50?
48 to 50.
And I said 45.
You said 31.
I said 45 in my heart, but I think 42 is a more reasonable expectation.
Well, this is a fan cast. It's not reasonableness, okay?
That is true. I do say all the time that it's
fans
fueled by fan emotion.
Yeah, so, what do you want to say?
49.
All right, there you go.
Yeah. Okay. But I probably closer to 42.
Okay, we're not NBA experts or analysts on ESPN or NBA TV.
Okay. I think that's pretty much it. That's one reason why I'm looking forward to opening night at Wizards, because all of this stuff
at home.
Finally, did I say at? Yeah, but all this stuff finally we get to see it. The season starts, and then we'll know.
I don't think game 1 of the season's
it's
gonna.
Big.
I mean,
it's a big deal.
Well, I forgot you did pick game 1, 2, 3, and 4 of the season as your top 4 games of the year.
Games 1 and 2.
You have 4 of them before November 14th.
Anyways, those are our predictions for the season. Let us know what you guys think. How many games are the Mavericks going to win? And you can be as outrageous as you want, or you can be reasonable like me.
Also, we want to know what your potential starting lineups are and what 5 games you're looking forward to.
Yeah, as long as they're not the first 5 games, because apparently we can't do that.
Don't do game 1 of the season.
So tweet us on Twitter at Dallas Hoopscast, or leave a comment on YouTube. Just search Dallas Hoops Fancast to find the episode. But thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for your support. If you can, leave a rating for the podcast on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, wherever you listen. That kind of feedback, first of all, it helps the show grow, having those ratings, but also helps us know what you like about the show or what we can do better. So please leave a rating if you can, but really just thank you for listening. Thank you for all of the support, and we'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye. Wow. Really giant watermelon bite right at the end. You never say bye.